Hello there, welcome back to London Live News. Now, a new play which highlights the horrors of human trafficking is set to preview in the capital later this month before a run at the Edinburgh Fringe. My Mind is Free tells interlinked stories of 4 people who were abused and exploited. It's been created by the Rah Rah Theatre Company and 2 charities, including the Salvation Army. Here is part of the trailer.
I was 14 when I met him. He called me his treasure. We were together for almost 2 years. I thought we would get married.
Pappy owed money to a man in the village. He said all I have to do is get to England.
I would do anything for my son. Anything, so he doesn't end up in the drug gangs. You know, they killed his
Catherine
friends.
Taylor is from the Salvation Army and David Sayers is one of the actors involved, Colin, who we can see on the screen now. Lovely to see you both. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Catherine, just give us a sense of the scale of this, because often it's an issue which people don't necessarily associate with being a British problem.
Yes, it's absolutely a British problem, just as it is a worldwide issue. But in Britain particularly, the Salvation Army is involved in the support, the specialist support on behalf of the government, in making sure that we get to the people who need the help. And so, for example, we've had this contract for 5 years, and in year 1 of the contract was 378 victims came through, but last year in year 5 it was 1,400 people that came through. So we don't know whether it's a growing issue or whether we're getting better at rooting it out, but we know that there's a real live issue going on right in front of us in the UK just now.
Often difficult, like you say, to tell whether or not this is more people prepared to come forward and say, I've been the victim of this. Do you think we are becoming more aware of trafficking? I
do think we're becoming more aware, but individuals have such an important part to play. So the more aware we are, more out in the public arena this is, and the more that people can observe human trafficking going on right under our noses. So we might provide the victim care for the government, but we're dependent on partners and people like David in terms of using theatre to raise the awareness across the public at large.
David, your character, Colin, with a name like Colin, would suggest he's British.
Yes.
There are a range of nationalities involved, characters from all over the world, but what's Colin's story? Because that is a British story here.
It is. I think that's possibly the one that people will be more surprised with out of the whole play. I mean, Colin is a soldier who's come back from Afghanistan. He's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. He can't cope with his family life. He's got a supportive family with children, but he still can't cope with it and has to leave home. He lives on the streets. And he is picked up and by this organisation, this group of people who take advantage of people who are suffering both physically and mentally. And used to do manual labour for the hope of a little bit of money, a little bit of self-respect. I
think what you've kind of highlighted there is that it's the most vulnerable in society who are exploited and in these positions. Is that what's reflected with some of the other characters? Yeah,
I mean, I think all the characters there, a lot of them, what's nice about them is that they're very much a human stories, all of them. They've all got families there that they're doing things to support. They're doing, they're there really to try and help, not themselves, but their families back home, and they're just manipulated and coerced, and sometimes there's violence involved, but a lot of the time it's just manipulation.
Difficult and hugely powerful piece. How important, Catherine, is that you kind of touched on it before, that people can come to an environment that is a theatre environment, but learn about something which is often difficult to get the message across.
It's a challenging message in the first instance. We had a conversation saying how important theatre is, so that it's something attractive to use as a way of getting that message across. So, we're delighted to sort of be supporting what you're doing with the Rah Rah Theatre Company, because we need to get the message out. The Salvation Army are not the first ones to be thought of as theatre people. We're the victim care side of it, but it's just so important that people on the streets, right, hidden in plain sight, people are right in front of us, and we need to know how to respond to that to make a difference and to see things change.
David, as an actor, how difficult has it been kind of immersing yourself into this kind of world and this kind of thought?
I think for all of us it's
speak to you both on what is such a serious issue. Thank you for joining us this evening. The preview for this, it is called My Mind is Free. It will be on at Waterloo East Theatre on the 27th of July before it heads on up to Edinburgh for the Fringe. Now, tourists in Piccadilly were given...